Hey, what's up guys? Sloth King here. Today I'm going to be working on the Supra. So last week when I was driving it, I was trying to clean my windshield and I noticed that my windshield wipers were not really activating. They were like going super slow and then just stopped. So I found out that my wiper motor died on me. And I was making a previous video on it, like going through and getting a new one because I had this issue beforehand, and turned out that the motor that I got, it wasn't the right one. It spun in the opposite direction, so I had to put my old one back in, and it was working fine. But it randomly died on me, so that's cool. So I picked up this other one on, I forget what website it was. Ward Auto Racing. Now this one, it was not tested and verified to see if it worked, but it was 20 bucks, and I decided to just take a gamble on it to see if it actually worked, because other ones are like $100 or more, and that just really sucks, and I don't want to pay that much. I saw one on eBay for like $500, and that just sucks. So yeah, first thing we're gonna do, we're just gonna dive in. We're gonna plug the connector in it. Wow, I can't speak today. We're going to plug the connector in it to see if it just cycles and powers on. That way, whenever I do cycle it on, it will default to the original position, and then we can just install the motor. So I lightly touched on how I was making another video on taking out the windshield wiper, you know, the windshield wiper mechanism. So I went through and greased that, so I might show some snippets going through there, but it kind of turned into like a dead-end video. So if you see some other shots of me just throwing it in there, I'll pop it up on the screen, just so you guys know. But anyway, this is mostly going to focus on just replacing the motor. So yeah, let's jump right into that. All right, so let's pop this open, and then let's test it to see if it powers on. Oh, nice, nice. It's rusty. Some good signs. All right, now we should be able to see it turn on from inside the car, or at least hear it. So I can see it from over there. And maybe it needs to see like ground or something. I forgot about that. So I think it's this one that needs to be grounded. There we go. Oh. Let's see if I can just touch ground on there. Okay, let me put it on a different speed. Okay, now that this is on a faster speed, let's see what happens. Yep, so that's just constantly going. Hey, it works, perfect. Now I'm gonna put it back on that variable speed. That way it can cycle on and then cycle back off. There we go. Now let's see what happens. Might be a minute since it's on that variable. Perfect. Well, now we know it works. Sweet. All right, so now that we've verified that it works and it's in the parked position, I'm gonna go ahead and take this back off. And what I'll need to do is take this nut off, because I already have this piece attached to the wiper assembly over there. So I'll have to take that off, which I think it's just a 10 millimeter. Maybe it's a 12. Yep, it's a 12. There we go. Usually it's a little bit harder to take off. Now this piece is a pain to take off, but one easy way to do it. And I don't have a hammer on me, which I hate using sockets or ratchets to hit stuff with, but my tools are back at home and I don't have time to run home. So when it's in the car as well, it'll be in this position. You want to put like a pry bar on the back, and then ideally you want to take a hammer and then just hit it a few times. But I know this is gonna kill you guys too. And then you're just gonna keep hitting it because it needs to separate from these splines right down in there. Once you hit it a few times, it'll just pop off. Same thing in the car. It's gonna be hard to like get a shot of it, but that's basically what I'm gonna do when it's just sitting up there. I'm gonna put this pry bar in there and just pry on it and then hit it with a hammer. All right, I got that piece off. And yeah, I know you guys are gonna hate me for doing that. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Put that there. This will be to take off the nut on the inside. So easiest way that I found to get to these bolts down here is I just put a long extension on, and then I use a swivel socket with a 10 millimeter at the end. You can get down here in between this this hose. The hardest one to get to is this bottom right one. That's a pain. Oh, maybe it's not. Never mind. All right, here comes the fun part. You're barely gonna have enough room back in here. Oh yeah, I forgot. You have to loosen those mounts up there. I forgot about that. Which you have to take off this cowl. All right. It's just a couple Phillips screws. One here. One right here in the middle. One over to the left. There's one right here, which I have to put my screw back in. And then one over here at the end. Now those are out. I'm gonna put them in a safe spot. Remove these wiper arms. They are 12 millimeter. Watch out, there's a washer on them. See the washer? Don't lose that. Now we can remove the cowl. And then just loosen up these 6 bolts. They're all 10 millimeter. All right, let's see if we have enough play to take off that motor now. Oh wait. All right, we have just a little bit of room. See how it popped out like that? I'm gonna safely put the lock washer and the nut up here. All right. Now we can do the same thing with the pry bar. Put the pry bar in there and just tap it off. I'm sorry, ratchet. Just be careful not to mess up your paint. Did I get it? Yeah, I got it. Cool. All right, now we're just gonna pop this back on and then do reverse assembly, and then just bolt it back in and then plug it in. So I'm gonna do that, put everything else back on, and then we'll see how it works. Okay, so with this linkage arm, there's a couple points on here. Yeah, I'm doing this on the ground because I don't want to get the interior dirty. So there's a few bushings in here. I suppose you can replace them. I really couldn't find any that I could replace, so I'm just gonna try to pop it off, wipe off the old grease, and then put some new grease in it. I was going to use some of the Molly grease, but I grabbed the wrong grease gun. This is the red thick and tacky, so I don't want to use something so thick. I want to use something a little bit thinner, and I think this will be fine. Plus it's gonna be fine with the plastic bushings. They're not gonna break or anything. Really don't want to tear anything. Huh. You know, on second thought, I might just clean this up a little bit around the edges, and then just throw some of that lubricant and try to just like work it in. It might be the easiest route. Oh, I do not want to tear that. Oops. Oh no. Oh no, why did I do that? I'm not gonna touch these. I'm not gonna touch these at all. I'm just gonna throw some grease at them and then let them be, because I don't want to break any of these. Yeah, yep. Just gonna throw some grease on these, and then call it a day. Yep, so I'm gonna do this, just grease them up, and then we're gonna move on. So here comes the fun part. This is how the arms sit in the car, just like this. But in order to get them out, you gotta do a little bit of finagling. When you're doing this, you're gonna take out the linkage through the driver's side, and then you're gonna put it back in on the driver's side. So everything just slides in here. Nice and neat, all the way down as far as you can go. This you're gonna have to like fold in a little bit. You might need to move the linkage a bit, bend it in, and then just get it past here. And then now we can line everything up. I want to do this before we put that motor back on. Now there is a certain way that this goes. There's like a little triangle on here. You just spin it around until it lines up. There's like a slant to it. So you got to line up the slant right about there. I do have some new goodies that are going on here, but I'm just gonna hold this in place for right now. And by new goodies, I mean a bunch of new bolts. So let's go ahead and line up this middle linkage. This is the fun one to line up. It's actually the first time taking it out, but after looking at it when everything was out of the car, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great to line up. Actually, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drop this one. Just like the other one, line up the triangle piece as best as you can, and just lock it in place with one of these bolts. We might need to rotate it. Okay, something like that. All right, that one's in like a general location. Now we can line up this side. Okay, that's in its general spot. Now, before we move any further, we can try to line up this this linkage down here for the motor. It's gonna be like that. We can pop it out a little bit. All right, I got it all hooked back up. I have it rotating, and it's working. All right, I'm gonna slap the cowl back on and the windshield wiper arms, and then we'll see how well it turns. All right, I think I got them lined up to where they're supposed to be. Let's see how well they move. Not bad. Way better than before. Wow. All right, guys. I got the windshield wipers all put back together. They work. I can actually drive in the rain now. They're faster than what they were before. I might need to do some minor calibration on like where they park back at. So I might need to tighten it down, or I might need to like move them a little bit. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. And the motor was only 20 bucks off of Ward Auto Racing. So that's pretty sick. I took a gamble because, you know, it was not verified to see if it did work. But I'm happy it did, because I did not want to spend a few $100s on a used motor, because I don't know where to get the new ones from. Like in that previous video that I mentioned where I bought a aftermarket motor from, I got off of Amazon, then I tried one at O'Reilly's, and they always just went in the opposite direction. And yeah, so if you guys have one that actually works, comment below and let me know. But anyways, if you guys like this video and found it helpful, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to see more videos like these. I'll catch you on the next ride.